Patz, and welcome to the Rob Patz Project. Today, I've got a very special guest with me, a great group called Mercy's One. Hey guys, how are you doing?
Hey, Rob.
Hey,
Great.
Hey, I want Russ to introduce everybody because that's how a good place to start.
All right. Uh, Well, off to himself is our lead singer. He is from Shepherdsville, Kentucky, and his name is Darren Jenkins. Um, this is Mr. Eric Parnell. He's the baritone. This is my lovely wife, Shayla, who sings the alto or tenor for the group, and uh, I sing bass. I'm Russ. So
Yes,
play piano as well. Yeah.
I've gotten a chance to talk to Russ over the last few months, and I'm really excited about this group. Russ, tell us how you guys kind of got started and how you picked the name Mercy's One.
Well, first of all, we started what about 4 years ago.
well, so it's kind of funny how we started because he was auditioning for another group and we were driving on the way home from that audition and I started bawling my eyes out.
Good job.
And he was like, "Well, I'm thinking about taking it." And I was like, "Please don't leave me behind." Because we had sang in a group previously and just loved doing music together. And so we started talking about that and then
Yeah. Well, it actually started with after that I thought, well, that would be awesome to do music with my wife. And uh I think a lot about our field. There's not a ton of mixed quartets. Uh and so we put that together. We started out, we had different personnel, and I will never forget uh at the time we had baritone, bass, tenor, but we were missing. We were three-fourths of the quartet. So I'll never forget we had it down to two people that we were going to have at the lead spot. And I posted this on Facebook in a private message and also on my Facebook wall. Danielle Jenkins, Darren's wife, said, "Oh, no, you don't. Not until you've heard my husband sing." And I said, "Well, okay." So Darren came down, and so basically, since its formation of Mercy's One, it's been Darren, Shell, and myself. Um, and Eric came along a couple years ago, and he has just been a godsend. It's a family from the harmonies in the music, how their voices, especially the upper three, all of it, go together, but just our personalities, how things gel and gel come together. Just it's there. Mercy's One was taken from the scripture in James where mercy triumphs over judgment. And I said, well, therefore, mercy has won. So that's how the name Mercy's One
we
came
threw
about.
around a lot of names.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to find a name in gospel music that's not already been taken. And so we kept tossing it around and had
Well,
several ideas and
and I really
it just
wanted
stuck.
I wanted something more creative than the gospel Southern airs too. I didn't like it.
We thought
Well,
about
Russ
Russ
and
Funk
those
and the
people.
Funky Bunch. Yeah.
There you
And we
go.
had thought about Russ Funk and the Funky Bunch, but that one didn't stick.
It
Not
did.
in this genre, not in this field. No.
It's hard to get church bookings on that one. Hey, tell us a little bit. I know you just have been in the studio, so tell us a little bit about the studio process. I know that you just kind of finishing that up.
Who wants to go? You ain't go? Okay. All right. So, uh, several years ago, the Lord gave me a song, and I had track made. We were doing it live. It features Darren. Well, we got together just on cell phone, put together, and had a little track made for it. And we were singing. I think one Sunday we did the song. The next Sunday we were at a different church. Darren has vanished. But anyway, uh, and everybody's singing along with the song. I'm like, how is this possible? I'm like, I know the Holy Spirit is real, and he is. And Eric looked over at me and he goes, so's YouTube. They had posted on YouTube. So years ago, I sat on a session with Gordon Mose. And so get a call one day, talk to Gordon. He remembers doing the session years ago, partially because I was a bad dog. And for those who know, Mr. Mode is unbelievably talented, but he's also blind from birth. So he would have to take my shoulder from the piano room to walk in. And studios are different booths and ISO booths and drummers set up here. And so I slammed him into an ISO booth because the bass player hit a really awesome lick. And he said, got to get a new dog. So that's not just a joke he cuts with Gaither, it's for real. So anyway, he calls me up and he said, well, he said, I've got this link and I love the song. But he said, I think you've got potential here. But he said, I got time to do maybe one independent this year, maybe two. But he said, I'm book solid. He said, send me some links of what you do. So from there, he's like, yeah, I want to do this. So we went into a studio in Franklin, Tennessee, cut all the tracks. Gordon was great. He was the leader. We had players like Kelly Back and James Mitchell, Kevin Williams, Joel Key, Jacob Lowry, and the drummer man, Scott Williamson. Yes. So then we had our tracks. Then we went to a different studio and everybody went in and did their vocals and spent a couple days doing those, went back, did overdubs, different things like that. And so now the project has been edited, mixed, mastered, and it's ready to go. So we've got a pre-order link that ready to go for the digital and 3 original songs. I think 4 public domain that are not like you would quite hear in the church, but still have the flavor. And 3 songs that we just love that are not everyday songs.
And kind of building on what he said, leading up to the project, it felt like every time we went to go do a project, like God kept holding off. And Russ and I are pretty particular when it comes to music. And we really wanted our first project with the group to be of excellence. So when he came to me with having Gordon do it, of course I was like, yes, that's the quality we're looking for. You know, we didn't want to have a project that was just, you know, just going to be thrown out there. And we had been praying for it for a while. And the experience of being in the project and in the studio, the entire team that we worked with was incredibly encouraging.
Oh,
They never talked negatively to anyone there. They never talked about anyone in the industry. I mean, we had this incredible team through the entire process, all the way from the laying of the tracks, all the way to the photo shoot and our graphic designer. I mean, they just came alongside us and really coached us through it. And we ended up with something that we can be so proud of because we had some of the most amazing people in the industry helping us.
So I'm going to ask each of you to answer this question. What is your favorite part about going into the studio? We're going to start with Darren and we'll go around the horn after that.
You know, I was this is the first time I ever done anything like this, just to start off. And I was so pleasantly surprised working with Gordon Mote, how down to earth he was and how much he comforted us and put us at ease in the studio. I mean, working with him was just amazing. I can't imagine a better experience going into the studio.
Okay. Whoever wants to go next.
Yeah, I can echo what Darren said. It was such an awesome experience. You know, it was a little intimidating to go in and see a face like Gordon Mote, you know, listening to you sing for the first time in a studio. That's a little intimidating, but like they said, he was very encouraging, kept you positive, and just made that experience one that I won't forget for sure.
I'll say this. I'll echo all that because Gordon has an amazing way. I have been in. I used to play some sessions
Mhm.
and even off, like Hendersonville outside of Nashville, and some of those guys are just
Yeah.
hammer and fist guys. But Gordon can pull more out of you. And oh my goodness, the Bill Gaither, the country music guy, Porter Wagner, anybody he hears, he can mimic. And he'd be off telling a story. They're setting up the song, they're editing, they're doing all this other stuff. He's relaxed you and he's like, now I want you to sing blah blah da 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 or whatever you want. But he really wanted what he said and the notes, but he was great. But one thing I love about the studio is, especially as a songwriter, is yes, I love all the music. I love the different takes. Like, wow, we didn't think that this song would turn out like this. Even the rearranging the sax, the vocals. Uh, but to hear something in your own head that God gave you, and actually on the third original, Darren and Shayla can relate. Then as they helped write, Eric gets one on the next one. Uh, but anyhow, um, just to hear that conception in your head just be right there in front of you. Like, wow, that's what it sounds like now. The studio's amazing. You hear every flaw, but you also hear every great thing. And I'll tell you what, it just makes you better. It makes you tighter vocally and in all ways. Um, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. You were here. We're from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Aaron from Shepherdsville. We're going into Nashville, and everybody's just like, "Hey, what's up?" They were very nice, very cool,
I think
and
we'd be
very what could have been, yeah, what could have
Yeah.
been high pressure to just, yeah, no, just come on in and do your thing.
Yeah, for me it was the relational part because I'm a very relational person as it is. And so I mean, being in the room with like Kevin Williams, who you've seen and heard all growing up playing, and all of a sudden he's on your project is a dream come true. But then to have a relationship with those people, it wasn't just oh, hey, great, great, great that we got to do your project with you. We sat down and ate lunch with them and got to know them and got to know about their lives. And so having that relationship going forward, that was definitely one of my favorite parts.
Okay, so I want to ask this next question because I love Gordon, but I also know that he is tough to work. He pulls the best out of you. So here's the question for each of you. I want to ask: what is one thing that you learned from Gordon while you were in the studio? I'm gonna change it up. Well, no, I'm not. I'm gonna go back to Darren. We'll start with Darren again because that way you guys know what order we're going in. How about that? So, Darren, one thing you learned that Gordon challenged you on while you were in the studio.
Well, I think Gordon, for me, he challenged me to come out of my comfort zone a bit. I think I kind of came in with what my experiences were and what I thought I could do, and he very much challenged my notion of what the song was. And there were like things that I thought, the way I was singing the song all along, and he changed it up. And once he did that, it was an amazing change. It was in it. When I heard it, I'm like, oh, I see what he's doing here. It was, it was great once he moved me away from what I was used to and got used to that. I think molded me that way.
Yeah, I agree. That's similar to what I was going to say is he would present a part and the harmonies that he would hear a certain way that maybe would be different than what I would have thought would have, how it should have been. And again, he has an ear for it. And once he pulled it out of us, and like you said, he challenges you to take your singing, your abilities to the next level. It was just amazing just to hear what he was hearing and how it came to life there in the studio. So
Really the same.
yeah.
I mean, one, I've always had the philosophy if you're going to do something for God, if you want to make me mad real quick, just say, I've heard people do this, oh, we're just doing this for the Lord. I'm like, there's no greater purpose than to do your best. But Gordon just keeping it light, but also it was a comfort zone. I am a bass. I'm used to singing low pretty much all the time. And so 2 songs, he's like, well, that's good. And he's like, let's do that again. And we were doing this, and it's a bass on a contemporary song. I'm like, how's this gonna gel? How's this gonna mesh? And it was like the crazier things that I tried, different ranges, different placements. He was like, yeah, go with that, Now try this, try that. And you're like, okay. And the other one we redid, it's actually going to be the first single, In the Sweet Forever. And so you got James Mitchell that plays on country, everything, and just burning the guitar up, Gordon burning it up, all the guys. But we go in, and I'm like, bah, bah, bah. I'm singing this bass line, and all of a sudden he goes, well, that's right. That is the bass line. But now I need you to go up into your really high range and sing that part. So we did. And then he proceeded to tell each one of the group that and totally rearrange the stack of the vocals, and we love it. So
That's
don't
so
ever be
cool.
afraid to go out of the comfort zone. And always listen to your team.
Mhm.
Listen to the people who are successful in ministry, who've made it. Listen to them.
Man, this one's a hard one for me. Because it's, I'm trying to figure out how to say it. One of the biggest things that he challenged me on, and again, it's going to sound weird, but was my perception of myself. Going in, I was expecting to have him almost be like, oh, well, you need to sing it this way, and you need to do this vocally, and you need to do that vocally. And instead, the feedback that I got was, try it, feel it, believe in yourself, see what happens. If we don't like it, we'll cut it. If it's not working, we'll figure it out. If we try and it doesn't work, then no one ever has to hear it. And so he was constantly challenging me. What I felt like was to believe that I could do it, and then to relax into that and know that he wasn't going to let me fail. He wasn't going to let me sound bad.
Isn't that cool though? And I mean, that's the refreshing way. And it's the way it should be when you're in the studio. It should be the way that we do ministry, is that we know that if we have, like you said, great team around us, we're not going to fail. And so, okay, now I'm going to ask rapid fire questions. Anybody can answer. First one, where do you guys like to go eat when you're on the road?
Not Mexican.
No
We
Mexican?
had a lot. Oh
Well,
no, we
some of us like it, some of us don't. So we try and stay away from it.
we had a lot of Indian food on studio time, which is great to open up the mask and never mind. But we will go a lot. We fall into the hey, there's a Cracker Barrel over
Yeah.
there. It's still open.
Yep.
That's
Pretty
safe.
much,
That's
yeah.
the truth.
That's-
It's really what's open.
It's what's open. Yeah.
Generally,
And
yes.
occasionally-
Generally, it's what's open. So who's the practical joker?
Oh goodness, that has to be Russ.
Oh, now wait a minute. They all have their moments.
Joker.
So
Dad
what?
joke.
So what's the
Darren?
best practical joke so far as a group? Who has that?
I don't know.
Man, I don't know.
That's a tough one.
I mean, I told Eric I was going to put makeup on him when I walked in.
And he
He dodged.
Oh gosh.
okay.
Makeup
So
bag
hey,
and everything.
I'll tell
I
you
wanna
who
go
got us the best was Josh Garner. Our very first concert
Oh.
together, we had to have a guest baritone because our guy was sick. And Josh Garner, and we're going in the middle of
Yes.
my hometown in Eastern Kentucky, and Russ and Shayla are on the way. I mean, the concert's not far away, and it is literally our first concert, and we don't have our regular baritone, and Josh was gracious enough to fill in for us. And so Josh gets there early. He's with me, but Russ and Shayla were just a little bit behind. So Josh calls them and tells them he's not going to be able to make it. Oh my
That
goodness!
he overslept and he just woke up.
He said, "Can you
Overslept,
kill about 45 minutes till I get there?" And I was like, but Darren, who is the king of dad jokes and also cannot lie very well at all, had the sound system. And I was like, "Hey, did you get this plugged into that?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm thinking, is Josh Gardner not sitting right there? Darren didn't figure that one out on his own. So I think we're going to be all right. But it took me a while. This one is your quick-witted, like one line, like timer, like, I don't know about it. Oh, yes, Mr. Parnell, the deacon reverend over here. Man, he's quick-witted. Just boom.
Well, see, you got to have that. So tell everybody, first and foremost, where can they buy the album?
Okay.
Pre-order right now because it's not out till July, but pre-order it.
Pre-order on iTunes, and then it goes to 25 different Spotify, Pandora, whatever you do streaming wise, will be on there and be available for download.
It's going basically every platform.
If you use Napster, you can get it.
And then you'll also be able to go to our website, merciesone.com, for any information on that as well.
And physical product, actually, we should have around the 1st of July. And the first single will be released with UIA, Susan Wisnett, goes to radio. So,
if
you can contact us for a physical copy as well.
That's right. So if you're wanting to hear them and you listen to gospel radio, definitely call and request Mercy's One and their new single, which, by the way, did you say the 15th is when it'll go to radio?
First.
Okay.
In the Sweet Forever. Yeah.
And then did I read that you guys are going to be at Silver Dollar City?
Yes.
Okay. Get a plug. What day you're going to be there for all of our friends and family that are in the Branson area who love Silver Dollar City?
Yes. Okay. So we'll be in Jefferson City, Missouri, the Sunday before. The 27th. Then Branson on Tuesday will be at
Tuesday and Wednesday.
The
29th and the 30th.
That too, yes. During the Southern Gospel Picnic. And we do 3 30-minute sets a day at the gazebo stage in Silver Dollar.
Yeah.
So, very cool. Is this your first time?
It is. Well, as a group.
So funny little thing, last year, Russ and I had gone with my parents to just visit and listen to the groups because we love Southern Gospel. And I remember walking around the park, and the entire time I walked around the park, I kept telling my mom, I said, we're going to sing here one day. I just know it. Eric had just come on board, and I just kept saying, we're going to sing here one day. We're going to sing here one day. And so for me, that was just really exciting to feel like God was calling us to that, that God was pushing us towards, more dates and expanding. And here we are. A year later, we're going to be there.
And the crazy thing was, the 3 years, 4 years prior to that, by being a piano player, and I would go, since it was a big date, they would bring me aboard to play along, with tracks or just accompany them. And met D.A. Calloway. And so last year, I didn't play. We're just vacationing.
We just went for fun.
And my wife said, DA wants to talk to you. So we talked about okra, green beans, all the stuff DA likes to talk about. He said, what do you think about that bass singer they got in there? I said, hey, he's pretty good, DA. He said, piano player ain't too bad either. He said, what about that group you got? I said, well, we're moving ahead, getting this a CD hopefully going. And he said, well, I got that Facebook thing, and I said, yes, sir. So sent him a few tracks. He got me the lady's name who coordinates the event. And here's what's crazy. I'm thinking that this year's probably like booked, that everything's at, so I get an email back from her on my lunch break at work. And I'm like, August 29th, 30th, Silver Dollar City would like to have you. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Next year's going to be great. August 29th, 2023. That's this year. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And a
There's
lot
so
of
many-
other groups.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's so many great people that are going to be there. It's a Southern Gospel Picnic at Silver Dollar City. So if you love
Such a
gospel
fun-
music, you should go. Definitely. Everybody that's watching.
It's a
And
month-long event.
also, if you like custard, they have good custard there. Andy's, have you been? If you have not been, I get a thing called the Sledgehammer, and you need to go. It's Andy's. It's on. They call it 76 or the main route. They're amazing. I love Branson. It's one of our favorite places. We get a chance to do different events there throughout the year. So love it. Hey, give everybody the website so they can go check out your music, and then tell them. So is it the music for download? Is that July 1st also?
No, the pre-order is June 30th, right? It
Okay.
officially starts. You can pre-order on June 30th. The album gets released July 15th.
But the single is
for-
the first. And
yeah,
they
for
get
download, and it's merciesone.com. So
And
no
you want to give a
apostrophe.
phone number in case there might be a pastor watching that says, "Hey, I'd love to book them."
we'll give you two.
Okay.
So 720
Yes.
955 9129. Also we have Eric?
You can call me 270-784-5233. Love to hear
Right.
from
Or
If Russ
contact
calls
us
you
or-
back, don't be confused that it comes up Colorado like it did for me the first time he called. I was like, I don't know who that is. I don't know anybody in Colorado that I want to talk to.
Yep.
So that
That's
was
my
it.
fault.
Family plan.
Well, hey, give them the website one more time.
So www.
No one uses that anymore.
Oh, they don't? Is that obsolete? Okay, merciesone.com. I'm
And
sorry.
it's WON.
M-E-
WON.
Yes.
Right. You
Spell
can
it.
see it right there. It's right there.
Yeah.
See?
Very good.
On the screen.
MERCYSWON.
Hey guys,
com.
thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate you. This has been the Rob Patz Project, and we will see you guys all again next time.
Thanks, Rob.